Hello, everybody. What's going on? This is Andrew, and I am back with some more Standard today. And while looking for a deck to play, I came across this mono red deck. Now, I came across this deck in both the Magic Online deck dump and the Magic Arena deck dump. So, even though I've been having a lot of fun with the green red werewolves, we've still got a werewolf in here. We've still got our good friend Reckless Stormseeker. And I want to give this deck a shot. We played a similar deck early on in the format, and it seemed okay. It seemed like Falconroth Pit Fighter, Bloodthirsty Adversary with Thermo Alchemist and Dragon and Stormseeker. It's a nice aggressive core, right? It does some of the same things that the green red deck that we've been playing does. And instead, you just get much more consistent mana and 7 creature lands and some burn spells. And this seems fine. You can probably get underneath the Epiphany decks. I don't know how it does against mono green. Seems like a rough matchup, but against mono white, you're probably in a really good spot. So we're going to give this deck a shot. We've got extra Frostbites in the sideboard. We've got Roiling Vortexes, which are good against... I don't know what we're bringing these in against. This is a powerful card. It stops opponents from gaining life, and it deals a damage to them every turn. Maybe this is good against the Epiphany decks. We've got Sunstreak Phoenixes, which are really nice recursive threats. We've got Burning Hands, Thundering Rebukes, and then I've got a fun of Geist Flame Reservoir down here. If we end up against a control deck, this is a sticky permanent that gives us value as the game goes along, which I think could be really valuable if we end up against just a regular control deck. If they're playing Epiphany, this is going to be too slow and too dirtily. But, I don't know. I can see this having value against mid-ranger control decks. And that's the deck. The rest of the deck is 4-ofs, basically. We're going to hop into a couple games and see how this red deck feels. All right, facing off against an opponent with characters for names, and I don't know how to pronounce those characters, so our opponent. I hope we have a good battle today. We won the die roll, which is always good. Yeah, we'll go first here. This is an okay hand. We'll pass the turn. This is a 2-drop in this hand. I don't think I'm just play with firing my opponent for no good reason here. I think I'll chill on that. Right on time, Pit Fighter. And we're going to run out Adversary here. I've been impressed with this card. In the decks we played it in earlier in the season, I really liked this card. The only reason or a couple reasons it's not seeing play right now. One, there aren't a lot of spells you want to flashback on your turn. There's a lot of spells you want to flashback on your opponent's turn, but not a ton that you can do on your turn. So let's see. I think I want to... I probably need to play with fire this thing and keep my Frostbite. Then we'll hit for 2. We'll play our other Pit Fighter. But yeah, a lot of the removal spells and spells in general that mid-range decks and aggro decks can play are all reactive. You need to be able to play something that is good against Epiphany. So there's not a bunch of just hard removal spells being played. You're only playing a handful of those. So you don't want to rely on Adversary flashing back something like that in the wrong matchup. Also, it's a vampire. We haven't had the vampire set come out yet. But there's a chance, if the meta keeps developing, this card's going to be showing up more and more, I think. I really do. So our opponent missed... Like, they didn't do anything, right? They just played another ranger class. So I guess we'll just play with fire this and attack. They have a Snakeskin Veil. Well. Okay. I don't think I want a Pit Fighter quite yet. Like, I could sacrifice itself here discard this, draw 2 cards. Arlen's pretty good. Okay. Thermal Alchemist might be good here. I think I just want to fire up Faceless Haven. Everything attacks Arlen. They'd rather take my Faceless Haven off the table than my 2/2/2s. Which is interesting. It's fine though. If they had blocked my 2/2s, I was gonna get to use Den plus Haven to play Thermal Alchemist last turn. This is okay. Oh, they're attacking. That's interesting. Okay, found a mountain. So now I can make kind of the same play I did last time. Fire up Faceless Haven. Everything attacks. And then play Alchemist. Sure. That makes sense. And another Ranger class, yep. I guess they probably can't attack this turn. Yep, no attacks. Ooh. Flashback, Bloodthirsty Adversary. Cast Play with Fire. Target our opponent's face. 2 spells to flip this back over. This is why this card's good. That's why this card's good. Okay, so some sort of green-red deck. I think we want the Frostbites and the Burning Hands for sure. Maybe the Thundering Rebukes. Probably want to take out the Pit Fighters. And like trim 2 Royal Eruptions maybe. I don't know. In green-red matchups, as the red deck, you generally want to become kind of a control deck, more or less. You just like load up on removal, kill all their stuff, and then kill them eventually with whatever you've got left over. Or that's how I like to play decks like this in this matchup. So yeah, I think like the Royal Eruptions are just not quite as efficient as the Frostbite and the Play with Fire. And we've got the Burning Hands already. Could even convince me that like cutting all of them and bringing in 2 Rebukes is correct. I'm not as worried about going face in game 2. Yeah. Let's give that a shot. If this mono red deck is good, I'm going to be pretty happy, and I'll start jamming some games with it. I always like when a mono red deck is legal. And good. Good and legal. It just feels nice to have... And we're keeping this hand. To have a relatively straightforward one-color deck that you can play kind of on autopilot, or you can learn and play on autopilot. I don't want to suggest that all red decks are easy to play, because they're not. It's a lot harder than people give them credit for. Figuring out how to sequence your spells and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm casting this or playing this as a land, so I'm going to hold on to it for now. Yep. It's probably going to be a spell. Or a land, sorry. Meant land, said spell. We'll play Alchemist this turn, and then next turn we'll probably just play the other Alchemist and play Spikefield Hazard as a tap land. If they have the Werewolf here, it's not great for us. Just leveling Ranger class is fine-ish for us. Like drawing slash would be good. Just kill their thing. Ping them a couple times. I'd be happy with that. No land. Which means we're playing this. Playing the Stapt. And then just playing another Alchemist. We'll start shooting their stuff next turn. I'm doing it this way because I've got the Burning Hands that can kill this wolf once it becomes a 4 tough or 4 power thing. Then we've got these other removal spells to clean up everything else that's going on. So I think I want to just put a little bit more pressure on board while I can. Okay. Tovolar is going to be awkward to deal with here. Because obviously they're going to get to draw a card. We have to say no blocks. Would love to find... What do I want to find? Okay, land's fine. It's a 4/4 on the backside, huh? Well, I think we're just gonna have to slash Tovolar now. Pass. We'll take 5 next turn, which is a lot. But we've got the Burning Hands, and if we find if we find some more snowlands, ooh, Goldspan Dragon's pretty good. Yep, no blocks. Ping you, ping you. Thundering Rebukes? No Thundering Rebuke. So let's see, I can play Moonveil Regent and use it to chump block. I guess that's my play here. For chump blocking with Moonveil Regent. What are we putting the counter on? Goldspan Dragon? Sure. Yep. Go to blockers. This blocks that. This blocks that. Activate Alchemist. Activate this Alchemist. Definitely gonna try to Frostbite the Goldspan Dragon. I'd like to decline. They have infinite mana anyways, so giving them more mana here is not really a huge deal for me. And get to deal another damage. We're hanging in there. Yep. Just keep playing great cards. You got it. Okay, so now I can activate Den of the Bugbear as a blocker. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Use it to block and cast Burning Hands on something. Yeah, okay. I just made it nighttime. I think that's fine-ish. Yep, crew the chariot. X equals 5, uh-huh. Go to attackers. So you're making the wolf a 6/6? No. Chariot's a 5/5. Copy the wolf. We'll activate Den of the Bugbear. We'll go to blockers. Block. What do I want to shoot? Burning Hands is going to have to shoot something. Is it the lair? The chariot? I think I'm okay with it shooting the lair. Activate this. Burning Hands the Hydra. Untap Alchemist. Tap this. Put you to 8. I'm at 1. You know what? That's almost really good. So I can go Bloodthirsty Adversary, but that's not enough, obviously. Actually kind of close to winning this game. The Alchemists really chipped away there and did a lot of work. Well, so they have dragons. So I'm wondering if I want my Sunstreak Phoenixes here. Also, these spells were awkward because I didn't draw them on time. They have a lot of X2s, and instant speed matters, I think. What if I like go down one of each? Bring in the Phoenixes? Especially since they're playing a werewolf deck, so they want to control what's what. Yeah. Just want to make sure my removal matches up well. We're on the play this game, so I'm hoping we can take it to him. Play first. Looks great. Pretty good hand. Removal for their first real threat. Alchemist is going to start chipping away, and then we've got both dragons to refill later on. Yeah. Pretty happy. Ooh. Another Burning Hands was an amazing draw. Just want to draw a land in the next 2 turns, and we're golden. And there we go. Cool, we're good to go. We're just going to pass the turn here. We'll shoot him with the Alchemist. Burning Hand something if they play it this turn. Yeah, I think that's worth shooting. It uses my mana. I'm going to play Moonveil Regent next turn. I don't want them to ramp up to 5 next turn. So, I'm okay just doing this. And they're done. They didn't have an answer for the Moonveil Regent. And it might seem like a premature concession from our opponent, but if they can't deal with this turn, it's going to take over the game. It looks like they had nothing to do. So, there we go. Ooh, how thematic. We're fighting against Markov, which is Soren's last name, and Soren's a vampire from Innistrad. You know how it goes. Yeah, this hand looks good. I like everything about this hand. Early removal spell, early pressure, late pressure. Blue strategic planning. I don't know what this is. Strategic planning normally goes in decks that's doing unfair things. Maybe this is the blue-black control deck? We're going to shoot them with Play with Fire. Keep that right on top. So strategic plan, they look at the top 3 cards, and then they put one into their hand and the rest into their graveyard. They've just got a full grip of plannings, huh? They have so much planning to do. Bend a negate and an infernal grasp. Shoot my guy, yep. Here comes Reckless Stormseeker. Gives itself haste and attacks. I'd love to find a land next turn. Untapped land would be amazing. If I don't get it, that's fine. It's a tapped Hall of Storm Giants for our opponent. Okay. Untapped land. Nice. Nice. Sweet. They just have to Memory Deluge this turn. That's good for us. I'm not sure what sweepers this deck plays, but in black, I think there's only Shadow's Verdict and I think this is a land. Shadow's Verdict and the other one. Meat Hook Massacre. I guess next turn a Meat Hook Massacre would be pretty bad. That's why I'm going to play the Reckless Stormseeker. I'm not going to discard my hand. We'll attack. So I'm playing Stormseeker here because it's better because of the haste. Next turn this gets to attack with haste. And there we go. Took out the control deck. This is where I think Geistflame Reservoir could be good. We'll bring in the Phoenixes. I guess this is where Roiling Vortex is good, if it's going to be good. We'll cut the Frostbites. These only target creatures or planeswalkers. It's not going to be amazing here. We've got to make a couple more cuts. It's probably like 2 Play with Fire, 2 Royal Eruption or something. Slash isn't amazing either. Like 2 slashes in one of each of those or something like that. Want to keep everything else pretty tight. Yeah. Sure, let's try that. Just trim some of the removal spells, some of the burn, and put in cards that matter a little bit more. That's all you do against control, really. You still want to be aggressive, you still want to beat them down, but you don't want to be too linear. Sounds great. This is a 5-drop probably in this hand. Here's a Thermal Alchemist. They probably have a removal spell. Oh, Siphon Insight, sure. So this is kind of scary. They can take removal spells from my deck. Haven't found a land yet, which kind of sucks. I think I'll just try to stick the other Alchemist here. Seems like it's going to get countered. Yep. Not surprised about that. Ooh, Crawling Barrens. Okay. It's good to know that that's how they're winning the game. This is a land, definitely. Try to stick the Roiling Vortex. I want to play something that they care about on their Memory Deluge turn. They're not deluging, which is fine for me. It's not amazing, but that's fine. If they're countering this, that means they're not... You know, that's one less counter that they can have for my dragon. Heh, joke's on you, opponent. I got no spells. Just a couple creatures. I'm on a clock. I need to kill them fast. They have this Crawling Barrens. That is going to be a problem. Here's Moonveil Regent number 1. Yep. Looking for more stuff to do with my deck here. Hope they didn't find it. Pass. I wonder if they have like a play with fire or something. It gave them priority there at the end. We've got these creature lands too. We can't activate the Faceless Haven yet, but we can start activating Den of the Bugbear if we get to that point. Okay, they did find a removal spell. Actually, that's kind of great, because it goes to my graveyard. So now I can actually use my Bloodthirsty Adversary to do something. And I think I will try to cast this. I'd not like to discard my hand, thank you. Yeah, we'll activate. Choose this card. Shoot it at your face. Still don't want to do that. Attack you for 7. Cool. And that's all she wrote. Awesome. Pretty straightforward couple of matches there. Well, there you have it. Mono red still doing something in standard. We beat a green red werewolves deck and a blue black control deck. I think that's... I've heard that there's a blue black control deck kind of trolling around standard. I haven't seen it in a while. I'm not sure if that's the exact list our opponent was on in that last match. But we took apart both of the opponents we played against. This deck has a really aggressive draw. It's missing one more really good 1-drop. But it's got really good 2s, 3s, and 4s. And great creature lands. And so I think this deck can do a lot just on the back of that. Its removal lines up really well against some of the other creature decks in the format. And you've got a bunch of great haste threats along with the creature lands to take advantage of the control decks. So, I don't know. I don't know that this deck is amazing. I don't think it's necessarily better than Mono Green or Epiphany decks, but I can see this deck having a really good matchup against Mono White, and I can see this deck kind of sneaking in there if there are control decks showing up in the format. So yeah, I was happy with how this deck played. I'm going to definitely play it some more because I like playing decks like this. You should give it a shot if you like red decks. That's going to be it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you next time.